welcome to another exciting episode of the Common Fan Cricket Podcast, where we discuss everything cricket from the views of the common fan. Good afternoon here in Australia on Monday, the 23rd of October. And for the people watching on YouTube behind me, you can see a photo of the MCG. This is the first year anniversary of that wonderful game, the T20 World Cup between India and Pakistan. Once again, before we start, I'd like to pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging from the traditional lands that we come on. And then on top of that, I'd like to wish everyone a happy Navratri, from me and ours to you and yours. So joining me today is Manan and Ritvik. Once again, our common fan, Vijay, is no longer to be seen. He was chatting to us earlier this morning and he then decided to bugger off. So either he's had a very long and a fantastic night after watching India and New Zealand, or something else has happened. But before we start, let's talk about India and New Zealand. So Manan and Ritvik, over to you. Ritvik, you go first.
Thanks, Prasanna. And I was very happy to not see you in a Dandiya outfit coming onto this Dandiya 6 and starting to perform, given that you have been so busy doing Dandiya in the last 1 week.
Mate, yeah, I wish I could show you the calluses on my legs.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Prasanna did perform the Dandiya at the India-Pakistan game and we never got to see it.
Yeah, quite possible. So, terrific game yesterday. Probably India's toughest game of the World Cup so far. We were tested everywhere. For a moment, it seemed like the Kiwis are going to get 320, 330 plus, but we somehow pulled them back. Terrific bowling by India in the last 10 overs. Shami got a fiver, came back, made his 2023 World Cup debut, and picked up wickets when it mattered the most. And again, back to the old guys to see us through. Rohit had a belligerent start. The others, the Iyers, Rahuls, and Gills of the world did not come to the party, and it was again left to Virat to see us through with a terrific 95. And I was also happy that Jadeja hit the winning shot, probably something he wanted to do 4 years back. And everywhere in the country, the Dhoni fan is a little happier today because, to some extent, the ghost of 2019, have they been buried or not? So, one question from yesterday's game, Manan. Do you think Shami should have been the man of the match? My point, while he did get 5 wickets, 3 of them came in the last over, which probably did not matter much to the final score. Virat should have been the man of the match because he played the crucial knock when our backs were up against the wall, and he saw us through. Your point, Manan.
So, of course, yeah, out of the 5 wickets, 3 were in the final over, but the first 2 were very, very crucial wickets that he got, and brilliant economy as well. So, Shami is that one guy who you would not care about, and he's probably the most friend-zoned cricketer in the top 11, because he's not your second choice, because he's not your second choice fast bowler. But he comes in, he delivers, he does well, and then he goes back. So I think he still should have been the man of the match because he did set the tone right at the start. Plus the moral high that we got, bowling them out after, as you said, we were at looking down the barrel at about 320, 330. Virat's innings, of course, he does what he does, right? Maybe co-man of the match, or again he could have stolen it like he did from Jadeja in the previous game. But I still feel Shami deserves it, and again it goes back to the what is the best 11 that you have. I feel Shami should be on the 11 purely because of the experience that he has in big tournaments and the way he performs. Siraj has been great, but then, Shami has that edge over him in terms of experience and big game, showing up. To my mind, again, our statsman can tell us whether Shami is the best fast bowler in ICC tournaments so far for us or not. So I'll give that back to you, Ritvik, to give us some stats.
Some very interesting stats out there. Shami has 36 wickets from 12 World Cup games. That's 3 wickets every game at an average of 15. The great Glenn McGrath has an average of 18. The guy who has 71 wickets, the all-time record from World Cups. Our man Bumrah has around 29 wickets from 14 games. That's still 2 per wicket. Shami is in an altogether different league right there. So we are probably looking at a World Cup hero here, somebody who hasn't been talked about much. That said, Manan, क्या चल रहा है?
धर्मशाला में फॉग चल रहा है
और दिल्ली में तो स्मॉग चल रहा है. That's a
as
joke.
always.
I don't understand, I believe.
Guys, really stick to your day jobs. Seriously. Anyhow, look, I just wanted to share my thoughts as well. Look, I think it was really, really good. This is probably the first game that India was truly tested, and at the time, the bowlers were getting tonked. They were getting tonked, when Rachin, with Daryl Mitchell and the top order. I think this is exactly going to be the same when we face South Africa in a couple of weeks' time, right? The bowlers are going to get tonked. But one thing that I loved was how Kuldeep took it on. He was tonked in his first 5 overs, came back, completely different bowler. It was really, really good. And I think this is really great that we were doing this. I think one of the fellow listeners, Mr. Amit Kaka from Sydney, he was saying on a WhatsApp group, he was saying, we should focus on something different. So maybe leaving out Shreyas Iyer and trying KL Rahul at number 4. What do you guys think about that, Manan?
We could try him out. Maybe we could try a couple of games with Sky at number 5 and have KL Rahul at number 4 and, see how it goes.
Come
While
on, guys.
Shreyas has been.
Come on. We have been doing this for the last 5 years. Inky Pinky Ponky, who plays at number 4, who plays at number 5. Let's just
But,
stick to the batting order for once, yeah. Come on.
but you need to have performances,
We
right?
went,
That's the
we
point.
went into we went into the 2019 World Cup not knowing who our number 4 should be. In the big semi-final, I think we sent Pant at number 4, something that he had not done before. We had DK, we had a Hardik. Everybody was being just shuffled around. Let's not do this. Stick to the positions which the players have been batting at. If Iyer is not doing well, drop him and get in Sky.
Yeah, that I agree with. Yeah, but yeah, I agree with the batting position. Let's not tinker with that order.
Yeah,
But a
Kale is
larger point.
Kale is a slightly matured hat. He should be at number 5, marshalling the number 6 and number 7. So I think let's
Yeah,
stick people to their positions.
yeah, but a larger
So
point.
what I'm
Are we peaking too early?
That's something that even I'm worried about. The inevitable one bad hour. It hit us in the 2019 World Cup. It hit us in the WTC final, in the 2016 Champions Trophy. I just hope it doesn't hit us in the semi-final or the final. What do you think, KP? Prasanna?
Well, I was gonna say, performance anxiety and peaking too early. That's the same things you can say to in the bedroom and also to South Africa. As you know, for astute listeners of episode 5. However, look, scary. I will probably hedge my bets, see what happens against South Africa. Once we beat South Africa, if we do, and I hope we do, #bleed blue, I hope that we do beat South Africa. And once we do that, I think all kinds of performance anxiety and peaking will be done at the right time and at the right place. Speaking of which, I just wanted to also spend a couple of minutes on South Africa versus England. And more specifically, rather than discuss what went wrong for England, let's talk about what went right for England. And the answer is sweet bugger all. So I think with England and then also the Australia-Pakistan game, and I want to get your ideas. So firstly, Australia versus Pakistan. Australia finally put some convincing win on the board. That's what some of the commentators here in Australia are saying. Not being biased or anything. What are your thoughts, Manan and then Ritvik?
So yeah, I mean, it was a convincing win if you look at 60 run or 50 run margin, but Pakistan, of course, dropped like 30 catches, maybe 50 runs of missed field, and Pakistan just was Pakistan that day in the field. And at the end as well, had Rizwan, the decision would have gone his way, umpire's call, either way. We could have seen a different story. Chasing 360 odd and finishing at 3.5, 3.10, which is a big feat in general. So I won't call it a big win for Australia. Yes, they scraped through in some sense again, but it's not the Australia of the old at all. It's not the Australia that is right now the top contender even for the semi-finals yet. Yes, they are winning, but maybe that's just the law of averages. So, and much to your delight, I would say, Prasanna, they still might not make the semifinals.
Very funny game, in fact. For every time Pakistan misfielded, there was a dropped catch or misfield from Australia as well. It was almost like watching a Shakespeare comedy on stage, a comedy of errors. That said, I agree with Manan. Had Rizwan's decision gone the other way, it was umpire's call, then probably we would have been looking at a different result. And uh, it also tells us that no score less than 360 or 370 is safe in this World Cup, the way people have been chasing it down.
Yeah, thank you for that, Ritvik and Manan. Look, the way I see it, England and Australia are still never gonna make the semis, and that means that you're gonna have about 15 to 30 players that are available because both of them are playing bilaterals in India. So all the Ranji Trophy state teams, Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy, the other trophy, you got 30 white people ready to have a game. So check them out if you want to give them a game. That being said, look, I reckon the big question that's been happening over the past two games, to 100 or not to 100? That is the question. Ritvik, what do you reckon?
So I was pretty pissed with the way Rahul had reacted. I was more pissed with the way Virat got to his 100 in the last game, but I think yesterday it was fine. It was just one shot, I believe. I wasn't watching the game, but I think it was just one shot where he did not take the single, and then a couple of balls later he got out trying to hit a six. So I don't think it was that big of a problem yesterday. But yeah, there's a point being circulated around that there are thousands of young cricketers who are playing their Ranji and school games today, and they are watching their hero Virat marshalling the strike as he gets near his century. So, is that the right message that Virat should be sending out to the youngsters? And it's not that he's trying to get his first or his second 100. He already has around 48 odd hundreds. So, is that the right message, Manan?
No, I think it's fine to chase milestones as long as it's not impacting the team's cause or making sure that the net run rate goes for a toss. Because as individuals, we do want to play for milestones. Yes, it's a team sport, but we are humans at the end of the day, and something keeps on pushing us forward. And as long as that is happening for the team cause, you're good, right? The guy is averaging 90 plus in successful chases. So let's spare a thought for that. In both the games, the same situation was there. We were not impacted by the net run rate. We would not have lost the game. So if the guy is getting his 100, so be it. Yes, it's up to the youngsters to take the right message. But as we all know, the Gen Z never takes the right message. They will just take it on the face value that if Virat can go for 100, I can go for 100 too. But at the same time, in general, I think it was absolutely fine. What was not fine was Daryl Mitchell, for instance, slowing down when he was about to get 100. What was not fine was Sachin Tendulkar slowing down for his 100th 100 and losing that Asia Cup game. So it, like everything in life, the answer to this question is it depends, right? What the situation of the game is and where you are. If you're slowing the team down, if you're, probably going to lose the game for us, then it's absolutely fine. Yesterday, I saw a few tweets saying that he should have taken a single on the ball that he got out on. Frankly, the ball was there to be hit, and he hit it out of the. He tried to hit it out of the park. If that was the logic, then Dhoni would have never finished off in style.
So look, I think more than the six and to the 100 and not to 100, I reckon it is a team game. So you'd look at the situation. If the situation allows you to do it, go for it. I think more than the 100, one thing that probably kids and people will be looking at is the run out. It wasn't Virat's call. Every time you hit it beyond square, it's not your call. It's the batter's call. So I reckon the 95 was probably built off a potential run out. Virat sold Shreyas Iyer down the river without a paddle.
Surya Kumar Yadav. And it was very funny.
Sorry, yes, Sky. My bad.
So when I saw the run out, it was so funny that Virat was not looking at Surya Kumar running towards the other end, but when he realized, he turned back and went back to his own crease, almost giving the message out that, hey, brother, my wicket is more important than yours, which is definitely not untrue. So it was really telling Sky in his face that, boss, if there's one wicket that has to be saved now, it's me and not you. Sorry.
I got Inzamam vibes.
And talking about funny instances yesterday, I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but Bumrah in the first half of the match when India was bowling was an absolute disaster in the field. So we all know that the Dharamshala ground has certain issues and people can't dive. So there were two or three times when the ball went Bumrah's way and people expected him to dive, but he would just give up. And after every time the ball would go Bumrah's way, he would have that expression on his face that why me? And, and because obviously the guy doesn't want to get injured, right? At this point, and he would always prioritize his own fitness over the boundary that he should be saving. But and especially that one catch which Rohit took, there was Rohit came running forward, took that catch. KL Rahul was coming from the other side, and Bumrah was also coming from the other side.
Yeah.
As soon as Rohit caught it, Bumrah had a wonderful feeling of relief on his face because had the catch went his way, I'm sure he would have dropped it. It was very, very funny.
Again,
To be fair,
did you get the 90s vibes where Indian fast bowlers would just do this and that's about it?
yeah. No, I was actually speaking of the pitch at Dharamshala. One of my friends, Sunny Krishna, was a listener to the podcast, hashtag name dropping. He was telling me how the pitch resembled a war zone. And it's pretty. I think Dharamshala pitch now resembles a sand quarry during the day and a cricket pitch during the weekends. Crowd behavior. We've been talking about it since episode 1. Gonna come back to it again. Australia versus Pakistan. The Pakistan Zindabad, the Karnataka State Police officer did not allow. The bloke was an Australian citizen wearing a Pakistani flag, and I think he was supporting Pakistan. Now, if that happened to me at the SCG, I'm an Australian citizen, hashtag bleed blue. If that happened to me at the SCG, they would be hell to pay for. I would write a very strongly worded letter to my local MP in the MLA asking why I couldn't do this. So your thoughts, Ritvik and Manan?
So, honestly, I don't know how this particular incident should have been handled. It's very tricky. India, Pakistan, the geopolitics has been very, very different compared to what any other country has been. And a Pakistan Zindabad chant in any part of the country is bound to raise eyebrows. Whether it should happen in the cricket stadium or not, there's no clear answer. And I think I'm not sure what the instruction was to the police officer, but very tough to answer this. India, Bangladesh, yes, there were some unruly fans who probably tore that tiger toy, which I don't know why the Bangladeshis were carrying. And for me, even that incident wasn't really cool. We should be nicer to the fans from other countries who are out there. That said, I hope it's just a one-off incident and it doesn't depict the majority of the Indian fans. And the buck stops with their local authorities, the stadium controllers who should make sure that discipline is maintained.
I think on the the Pakistan Zindabad incident, yes, in general it should be fine according to me. But the problem from a authorities angle is they do not want a polarizing video to go out and then create a furor and all that. I don't think it's the authorities who did not want people to chant their their sides names or something. It was just about the fact that the environment is such that it will blow up, and that is what they wanted to avoid at the end of the day. That's my opinion, because you put out anything on social media, you have your opinions on both sides, and Pakistan Zindabad will essentially create a lot of furor.
A video did come out finally.
Yes, but again, a lot of people, if you look at the comments, it was whataboutery all the way, right? What did you guys do when we were in Pakistan? What does Pakistan do? And the same thing happens when, when an Indian fan trashes a Bangladeshi fan, they'll always have that Taskin Ahmed, MS Dhoni picture that is there, right? Uh, yeah, I'm sure these are one-off incidents that does not represent what the true Indian fan thinks. Yeah, of
Common.
course, when it's Bangladesh, maybe it's justified, but just kidding. I don't think it is justified. But at the same time, maybe these are one-off incidents. Of course, the power of social media is there as well. I remember back in 2008, we were playing, the IPL game that I was with, and RCB was playing Delhi, and Sunil Joshi was part of RCB's inaugural Test 11, and at the at the at the boundary, people were heckling him like anything. Buddha, Kusat, what the hell are you doing there? And even to Virat as well, with all the cuss words that dash 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 Gaddar Delhi ka hoke, why are you playing with Bangalore and all that? The crowd does that, right? But of course, it's not the majority at the end of the day. We can do
Two
better.
points to that. But
Yeah.
2 points to that. Isn't that phraseology considered normal for Delhi? I thought that was just generally how Delhi people speak on a daily basis. Look, I love the fact that there was an Aussie bloke in a singlet. He's probably had a couple of 4Xs. The belly definitely shows it. And he's shouting Bharat Mata Ki Jai and Vande Mataram. So, hashtag good on him. Good on him. So, all right.
Probably he just wanted PK. I think he just wanted to be safe in the stadium. That's it.
That's it.
Fair enough. You never know. You never know. Anyway, let's talk about the upcoming games. I think tonight, Afghanistan versus Pakistan in Chennai, and I reckon the common fan is probably going to go there, and that's why he's not at the at this podcast, the traitor that he is, the bastard.
I think it's going to be
anyway, what do you reckon?
I think it's going to be a very tricky game. Chennai is a slow ground. Afghanistan sprint trio. If Afghanistan bats first and puts around 230, 240, Pakistan will have a tough chase for them.
Yeah.
Manan, you reckon?
To win. Yeah, I think I want Afghanistan to win. Spice up the tournament a bit. Be that Kenya of 2003 maybe.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how much do you think England is going to lose to against Sri Lanka?
England probably will win. They'll be wounded.
Yeah,
they'll be wounded. But again, they will probably not make to the semis because past they had their luck going their way. Winning a tournament that they probably never won. So it's England at least this time, but they'll not make it.
Well, there's also Pakistan versus South Africa, and I reckon South Africa is going to blow them out of the park. The last one, the most interesting one, is the clash of the Tasmans, the Australia versus New Zealand. Definitely a 2015 matchup, a rematch of 2015 or something similar. What do you reckon?
Well, New Zealand are the favorites right now. If you look at the recent history, Australia have been out of sorts. So I would expect New Zealand to win. And I'm hoping Kane Williamson will be back by then. It should be a good game. And New Zealand, the so-called nice guys should come out on top.
Same here. I think ideally, New Zealand would win based on current form. But again, contrary to what I said earlier, if Australia beat them, they are then in the reckoning for a spot. So it'll be a very, very tricky game, a very important game for the Australians. Maybe their Aussie spirit comes out and they come back from the dead.
You reckon their Aussie spirit is going to come out and then Pat Cummins is going to ask someone to bowl underarm or something?
or he probably will say, don't hit a lot of runs. The other side might feel bad. The nice guys. He is.
The nice guys. The nice guys who have never been nice to us.
Yeah.
One thing. You know why I reckon New Zealand is doing too well? They're slipping under the radar. The All Blacks are playing some amazing rugby at the World Cup in France. So the nation's attention is turned towards France, and the Black Caps are slowly coming through. So I think there's a final coming in this weekend. So I reckon the New Zealand crowd is going to be looking at them and then going to be turning on the cricket. Anyway, that was an action-packed episode. Thank you everyone for listening. Manan, Ritvik, thank you so much. Hopefully we come back with a full house again next time. But until then, take care, all of you, and happy bowling and happy batting.